So thank you, Chairman. I'm Kazuo Saito of the Meteorological Research Institute. And today I'm going to talk about perturbation methods for ensemble data simulation. First, let me mention about our motivation. So ensemble data assimilation methods are becoming widely used for research and operation. And they have an advantage in terms of development cost, and also the compatibility with HPC is good. As for their performances, the performances are still arguable and likely have a room for further improvement. In ensemble DA, the forecast error is estimated by perturbations of the ensemble forecast. But characteristics of the ensemble forecast strongly depend on how the initial ensemble is generated. So the ensemble transform eigenvalue decomposition of the analysis error covariance matrix is widely used to generate the initial ensemble perturbation in most ensemble DA, including LETKF. By eigenvalue decomposition of analysis error covariance, transform matrix T is determined, which transforms and updates the ensemble perturbation E by multiplying transform matrix. So ensemble transform correspond to the principal component analysis, and initial ensemble perturbations are given by linear combination of Brett vectors obtained in the former data assimilation cycle. This is a chart from Bora et al. On the other hand, the conventional breeding method scales the Brett vectors using a certain norm, where the perturbations are composed by only diagonal components in terms of the transform matrix. So this slide lists the required conditions of initial perturbations. So maybe the initial perturbation needs zero mean at initial and no biases in forecast. And forecast perturbation should express the forecast error. Magnitude of perturbations reflect the analysis error. And good orthogonality to assure that the perturbations compose the basis to span the space of a large freedom. And accuracy of the ensemble mean must be good. And the performance of the forecast by each perturbed member should not be so poor. If you wish to use the forecast of perturbed members as a possible scenario of the future state. And maybe growth rates should be good, and synoptic structure of the perturbation should be kept. Of course, the ensemble transform has several advantages. The first one is the magnitude of perturbations reflects the magnitude of the analysis error. And the second one is that the orthogonalization of the perturbation vector is not required. This is a table from my paper which checks the orthogonality of the perturbation vectors of breeding method and LETK perturbation with and without the lateral boundary perturbations. So in case of LETK perturbations, even without the lateral boundary perturbations, the similarity index is generally small, which means the orthogonality is kept almost automatically. But we found some disadvantage of the ensemble transform. The first one is the growth rate of the perturbations. This chart compares the growth of the ensemble spread by different perturbation methods, such as downscale of global breeding, global singular vector, mesoscale singular vector, and mesoscale breeding, and LETKF. So you can see the growth of the LETKF perturbation is very sluggish. So to overcome this problem, Yoichi Ota of JMA blended singular vector to LETKF perturbation in the global EPS at JMA. Next one is the performance of the forecast. The upper panel shows the root mean square error of the ensemble mean with the same comparison of various perturbation methods. So the LETKF root mean square of LETKF forecast is not necessarily good. And also the lower panel shows the ROC area skill score and Breyer skill score for precipitation. So LETKF forecast from LETKF perturbation could not outperform the forecast from breeding. And next one is the forecast of each perturbed members. This chart shows the forecast for ensemble forecast of tropical cyclone Nargis. Upper panel shows the forecast from downscale ensemble. So in this case, half of the forecast members, half of the forecast members, the predicted typhoon was stronger than the control run, which means the positive and negative pair of the bread vectors may intensify or weaken the tropical cyclone in the forecast. But in the lower panel shows the forecast from LETKF perturbations. So in this case, almost all tropical cyclones were weaker than the forecast from control run, which means all perturbed members weakens the typhoon. So in LETKF, the transform matrix is determined at grid by grid independently. So difference of diagonal components of T likely contaminate the synoptic scale structure of the bread vectors when the localization is applied. And recently, the RTPP method has been proposed to improve the performance of LETKF. So to make relaxation to prior perturbation correspond to increase the diagonal component in ensemble transform. So in this study, we check effect of off-diagonal component in ensemble transform on the performance of ensemble forecast and data assimilation. So next, I show some test results with preliminary test with speedy LETKF. So in order to check the problem of ensemble transform, a test using speedy LETKF was conducted. The specification of speedy LETKF is as follows. So the first, we simply check the components of T matrix with different localization scales. Here, the red rectangle shows the diagonal component. So the magnitude of the non-diagonal component becomes larger if the localization scale becomes large. And if we see we compare the T matrix components between the neighboring grids, the off-diagonal components are different. So, for example, this is an adjacent point, but the sign of the non-diagonal component is different. And the situation is the same for upper and lower levels. This is in the same grid point, if we see just the upper and lower levels, the off-diagonal component is different. The sign is also different. So next, I show the 20-member LETKF perturbations. The situation is early February, and maybe there are some synoptic trough in the west of Japan. So this shows the perturbation vector from full matrix diagonal component and off-diagonal component. So the off-diagonal component seems a bit noisy. And if we see the power spectral of the perturbation for off-diagonal component becomes larger in the high wave number in the short wavelengths. And this situation is more clear if we make average of the power spectra. Okay. And the vertical inconsistency is clear. This is the same chart, and the upper level and the low, we can see lower level and upper level. The perturbation vector from diagonal component is consistent, but the off-diagonal component is very inconsistent. Okay, and this is the final slide, which shows the performance in the forecast. So the almost all part of members, the root mean square error is larger than the control run. And in this case, the ensemble mean does not improve the control run. So this is a summary. The questions of T matrix in LETKF differs between horizontal and vertical neighboring grids. And the ratio of diagonal to off-diagonal component depends on localization scales. And the power spectral of diagonal component increases in high wave numbers with smaller localization scales. And the perturbation by off-diagonal components are noisy and inconsistent horizontally and vertically. And the performance of ensemble transform perturbed members are generally poor, which likely deteriorate quality of the ensemble mean under analysis. And we are now verifying the influence of the inconsistency of the T matrix elements in the skill of ensemble forecast and data assimilation. And we will conduct experiment with a cloud resolving model for ideal and realistic conditions to propose a modified perturbation method for data assimilation. Thank you for your attention.